This is Fitness Blender's 10-minute total body physio ball workout routine. All you're going to need for this workout routine is a physio ball, an exercise mat, and an open wall. For this routine, we're going to be doing 9 different physio ball exercises for 45 seconds each. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one.